This is a warning about the fragility of American democracy, about our birthright, our liberty and freedoms. They are all under threat from an extremist movement. Let's talk about it. Today is a historic day, May 8th. It is the anniversary of the destruction of Nazi Germany, the unconditional surrender of Germany, the end of World War II, the beginning of the end of humanity's greatest tragedy and crisis. It was a war where more than 80 million people were killed globally. It was started by a single man, Adolf Hitler. Our society is cracking apart because a single man, Donald Trump, has proved once again the power of an individual to bend history by harnessing lies for hate, division, greed, and grievance. America is an experiment. It always has been, and it will continue to be so, because the proposition of the United States is that human impulses and nature and evil can be constrained under a system of law where the rule of law is supreme and people can be free to pursue their happiness. The 40th President of the United States said it perfectly when he described the condition and fragility of American democracy. What Ronald Reagan said was, freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it to our children in the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on to them to do the same. Or one day, we will spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it was once like in the United States, where men were free. Many look at America and may think it is too big to fail, that the Trump presidency was the worst there could be, and we moved past it. Personally, I think Joe Biden has been a very effective president. But it doesn't matter what I think. And frankly, it doesn't matter what Joe Biden thinks about his presidency. All that matters is what the American people think about it. And it's time to talk honestly about the rematch that is coming. The idea that Donald Trump cannot be elected president of the United States in this country has been proved wrong. Am I alone in remembering the surprise, the shock, the horror, and remembering the millions of people who marched all over America in outrage, many of them not having taken the time to vote just days before for Secretary Clinton? There should be no lack of imagination about Donald Trump returning to power. The Electoral College is loaded in favor of the Republican Party. All of the dynamics of a presidential campaign are loaded in favor of the Republican Party. We now know for sure how Joe Biden sees himself. And we know for sure what his rationale for reelection is. Let's watch.
Why would an 82-year-old Joe Biden be the right person for the most important job in the world?
Because I've acquired a hell of a lot of wisdom. I know more than the vast majority of people. I'm more experienced than anybody who's ever run for the office. And I think I've proven myself to be honorable as well as also effective.
Now, again, I think Joe Biden has been a very effective president. And it's clear that the president holds himself and his performance in high regard. But it doesn't matter. The poll numbers aren't just bad, they're brutal. They strip away completely the artifice and the delusion that has taken hold not amongst Democrats all over America, but amongst the Democrats who control the Democratic Party in Washington, D.C. They have successfully shut down all discussion about the most obvious issue coming into the campaign. Can the president defeat the extremist movement? Certainly it is the case that during the years of his presidency, he has not put it away. The Proud Boys are growing and shifting from election denial to the culture wars. Overwhelmingly, the American people are sending a signal up. a signal that they do not want the rematch between President Biden and Donald Trump. Just like the Hillary Clinton race, if you had taken the poll numbers of Secretary Clinton at the beginning and of Donald Trump, taken their names off the headers, blinded the test, and let a bunch of pollsters and experts in running presidential campaigns look at them, the conclusion would have been clear. Everybody would have said neither of these people could ever be elected president of the United States because of their dismal popularity. Yet, there is an ironclad rule about politics in this era of disapproval. When two unelectable candidates run against one another, one of the unelectable candidates will win. Now, the Biden campaign is premised on a delusion, and that is precisely what it is if what Joe Biden told Stephanie Ruhle is what he truly believes. It is disconnected from political reality. It is incumbent on somebody, on the White House team, on the campaign team, to walk into the Oval Office and have a clear communication with the most powerful person in the world about reality, about the coming campaign, about the great danger of it being lost. The United States of America will soon turn 250 years old. Our independence has endured for nearly a quarter of a millennium. It is a remarkable achievement and one worth celebrating. But freedom is as fragile today as it was then. It needs as much care, as much protection. At the time of the American Revolution, we were a country of 3 million. Today, we are a nation of 330 million, where all are equal. That is worth preserving. It is worth handing to our children. This remarkable land, where every day millions practice their faith without imposition from the government. A nation where every language the world has known is spoken every day, somewhere. A country of liberty and freedom. America is worth preserving, and there is nothing more important than stopping this extremist movement. Certainly not the egos of America's politicians, even a very good president like Joe Biden. The polling that we've seen is a wake-up call. Understand this. Donald Trump is likely to be the Republican nominee because there's no one in the Republican Party who can stop him. Democrats that are rooting for Donald Trump to advance into that final position aren't just reckless, they're making a terrible mistake. He is a dangerous man. And what we can all lose together beggars the imagination. This extremist cause must be stopped. We must come together as a country. We must come together as people who disagree on political issues to stop it together. But the starting place to stopping it is being realistic about it. Delusion is nobody's friend in the fight ahead.